Let's get into the agenda. At the top of it was the AFL's fixture reveal for the back part of the season. At its core, big clubs who are soaring, just tucking away those who are struggling, and the end to Thursday night footy despite its raging success, which has it challenging Friday night footy as the game's #1 slot.
So what goes into our Friday nights is as much, not necessarily the teams themselves, but also the matchups of who they're playing. And so what we've got in the back block here is some big clubs, Essendon and Collingwood, playing against other top 4 potential teams, which makes for a great Friday night. So think Collingwood Geelong, Collingwood Essendon. There's some big games which those clubs have been rewarded for performance at the early part of the season.
In this block of fixtures between round 16 and 23, no Thursday night games. Why is that?
We started off the season with a record 14 Thursday nights in a row. And Thursday nights, it's important to find a balance. And so as we head into winter, we've decided to go with a more traditional time slot structure. Heading into the new broadcast deal next year, we would really want to build on the successes of them this year and would expect to try to incorporate a few more depending on how they're going. The twilight slot has become more and more popular over the last couple of years. I think it's just a really good balance of people being able to do what they need to do on the Saturday morning and then go to the footy and then still be able to either go home early enough to put the kids to bed or go out for dinner after the game. And so what we're seeing with that is some really high-quality matchups, being successful in that slot, and some really good TV outcomes.
Josh Bowler, my least favourite person today, he's returning us to the traditional structure of the fixture without acknowledging how flawed that is. As Saturday games and cannibalise each other, Saturday night games climb all over the top, and we won't be able to watch a Sunday game in its entirety without flicking back and forth from here. And Thursday night, did you know during winter Thursday nights are colder than Friday nights and Saturday nights?
I knew that, Joe.
It rains.
They never do anything wrong in the AFL. Never. Hey, on Saturday, Sundays, you get out, take your kids out and then go out for dinner afterwards.
This is terrible, removing Thursday night footy.
It is terrible.
I'm really cranky about it.
And we're making jokes about it, like we're all making jokes about Richmond getting slaughtered on free kicks. It's more serious than that, Jared. The world has got used to Thursday night football. And I can tell you from a fan point of view, I'm sure professionally the numbers on the TV audiences, etc., you might have them, I don't know. They're going to be enormous. But from a fan's perspective, Thursday night football has been an unbelievable success. Why? It's like getting a Christmas present and the AFL takes it off you 4 months later.
Yes.
No, you're not playing with that anymore. That's going back in. Yeah, that's going back in
next year.
It's going back in the cupboard. Really? Oh, no, we know best. We know best.
It is outthinking the room to work on a strategy that you can only have blockbuster games on Thursday night. Is why? We could take some mid-games on Thursday night.
We'll take anything, mate.
That's right.
We'll take anything.
It is classic outthinking the room.
It's just frustrating.
And now, so it hands the NRL a huge free kick where they just fixture every Thursday night. And at a time we're being told, hey, our challenge is Netflix. It's not other sports, it's Netflix. Oh, we'll all be back on Netflix on Thursday nights.
And you're right when you say it's difficult for us too, because what we call work in the industry. So we watch a lot of footy, right? Go and watch a lot of footy. I'm not sure people out there watch as many games as what people work in the industry. But fair income, now they've got the cram that you were just talking about. Like Saturdays you stick your head in, want to score, you're out and you're flicking channels. And Sundays we've got 3 overlap games again. Whose bright idea? I shouldn't say that because someone's bright idea it is.
We've solved it, and then we've just gone straight back to it. I cannot fathom for the life of me why they would do
you know
this.
why? Seriously?
No, I seriously don't. So they don't want to play Thursday night games that are just mid. They want prime time spectacles. Not every game has to fit that mould. Just give us something to work with.
Give some clubs who don't get the Friday night games Thursday night.
So this is how Friday nights have landed heavily on Collingwood and Essendon. There's a bit of Melbourne and Sydney and one for Geelong, Carlton and Port Adelaide.
The rich get richer.
Yeah, so the formula here is to be a big team on the rise or a big team in big games.
Oh,
so
just a big team, Jared.
Yeah, so that's...
You know?
This is how the Friday nights
Can't see St Kilda, can't see Western
Essendon are obviously a big part of this. Now, part of it is the the Max Lawton formula that he puts together, the average percentage of the teams that you're drawn against, and Essendon, theoretically, by that measure, they have the toughest draw. So it means they're in the biggest games, and those biggest games are going to be in the most attractive slots. For teams like Adelaide, Brisbane and the Bulldogs, who are outside the 8, if they make it, they will have earned it as they claw.
We won't see them. We won't see them for 8 weeks, though.
At the Saturday twilight slot, actually just a little bit more of Essendon. So to buy into that, to how difficult the draw is, the offset is that they play 8 of the 9 games in Melbourne. So high-ranked opponents, but they've got this string of games at the MCG and Marvel. They won't travel until round 24 against Brisbane at the Gabba in what was confirmed today.
If they want to win it, Jared, anywhere, anytime.
Yeah.
The mantra.
And then the Saturday twilight slot has been identified as the huge growth slot. And we've had some
I think that's
games
reasonable.
and some thumping good crowds.
Well, I think there's a game a couple of weeks ago, and it lives. I can just pick it straight away. It's the Carlton Geelong game. I thought, geez, this has got a market.
Yeah.
This has got a real market.
So record ratings, 87,775. It does sort of skew the rest of it. But the biggest factor in that is Essendon and Carlton have played 6 of the 8 twilight games. So it's a bit of a loaded experiment anyway. Of course they've gone bonanza, and they're being deployed in those slots. So Saturday twilight becomes a key part. And the 5-day breaks that remain, there's only 2 in this portion of the season. Carlton and the Bulldogs each will endure one of those.
Yeah, what concerns me about the Saturday games is I wrote this down. I don't do a lot of writing down, as you know, Jared, but I wrote this down because it annoyed me. Round 16, 2 times 1:30 games. Saturday night, 2 times 7:30 games. So there's 2 double-ups on the one day. And you've got the twilight game, which we're all starting to really sit down and enjoy. And we've got 2 double-up games on the same day. What world are we living in?
And then you've got to flick off the last quarter of the early Sunday game to catch the start of the middle game, and then you have to flick that off to catch the start of the late, or you're just watching portions. I can't fathom it. It's so disappointing. Never mind working, just as a footy fan, it's just disappointing that that's how it's landed. So, well, we'll console ourselves with the NRL, won't we?
Oh, that's me fun. That's Andrew Dillon. Will you shut up and tell Jared to shut up?